For the love of God, stop what you're doing right now. Go to gotserum.com and buy the new coffee bar. Donate to the channel. You see on live stream what's happening. Pearly Things claims she's being attacked by the Matrix. I think we're being attacked by the Matrix as well. This is the sixth, if I'm not mistaken, attempt at this live stream. And with each start, there's been a new error. Unfathomable errors. So we need your help. Make sure you donate, contribute to the channel, to the Cash App, True Seekers, TRUTHSEEKRS, no E at the end. Thank you to everybody that's already contributed and donated. You don't have to donate again. I appreciate it that it's donated. We're talking about White Girl Pearl today, and we're also talking about Tory Lanez. Listen, we're going to hear a couple of things and issues that happen in this podcast. The audios may go out at some point or another. The video might go out at some point or another. If it does, then we'll try and recoup on another day. This is going to be the final attempt this night at this podcast. I want to thank all the moderators in the building for being here. Organic Black Diana Prince for still showing up yet again for the sixth attempt at this podcast. And where I started and where I want to start, we'll talk about Tory. If you're here to hear about Tory Lanez, then you need to fast forward probably, probably 5 to 10 minutes or so until we get to the Tory Lanez part, because everything that we have to say before this Tory Lanez part is extremely crucial, and we're going to cover it all right now. So buckle up your seats, and I need you to first and foremost leave your ego at the door. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and it has to deal with the white and the black issue and White Girl Pearl, the whitest, self-admitted whitest girl in the world. Now, the Matrix has come, according to her, for her and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is another Manosphere content creator that she recently collaborated on a video with that went wildly viral and successful. 60,000 concurrent live stream viewers, as well as over 1.2, if I'm not mistaken, million views right now. After being 18 appropriated, only age restricted by YouTube, it still has been growing extremely rapidly. So that means the message is definitely wanted and the message is definitely needed. Now, she's making this plea for help, or I guess you could say not necessarily a plea for help, but she's making this announcement, and she wants you to know that at this point right now, the Matrix has decided to come for her and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, the largest guest she's had on her podcast, has already been banned from every single social media platform. He's not on anything right now. And the same thing she's feeling like is getting ready to happen to her. This message of misogynistic hatred against primarily black women is going to be put to an end one way or another, or at least at some point it's going to start to fade away, because the powers that be, it looks like, are starting to catch on to it. Now, why am I talking about Tory Lanez? Why am I pointing out her whiteness? Well, the reason I'm pointing out her whiteness is because just Pearly Things pointed out her whiteness. You've been on this channel before, and so I know that you've seen when you click on her channel and go to the About side or the playlist community, the tab side of it, you can scroll to the very bottom and see the Kevin Samuels reactions. After you click the Kevin Samuels reactions, you can look on the right hand side and notice that every single video that's titled a reaction has to do, or it's titled Whitest Girl on Earth reacts to Kevin Samuels, Whitest Girl on Earth reacts to Whitest Girl on Earth, Whitest Girl on Earth, Whitest Girl on Earth. I kid you not, for a majority of the videos. It looks like not every video, so we're mistaken. It's only 40 or 50 videos where she's the whitest girl on earth. And then she decided to go ahead and step back from that and start titling her, naming her videos. Why does she name it the whitest girl on earth? Well, a few reasons. One, it's clickbaity. Two, this is a lot more deeper of a reason. We'll go ahead and take a deep dive into some really interesting parts about all of this. I was watching a movie earlier, and you've seen this movie at some point or another, and it's called The Great Debaters. I have to argue this point, and I have to start bringing classical race into it, because it's very important that we understand where a lot of these fundamental flawed arguments are originating from, and where and why they were important to black people at one point in time or another. Now, this particular scene and clip, I forgot to actually have it pulled up, is in the introduction, and in the introduction it has to do with Denzel, and he's talking to some of the kids, and I'm going to show you right now. Just give me 1 second. I need to try and pull it up again. We had everything going so perfectly, flawless in the very beginning, but of course, tragedy strikes, and here we are. Make sure you like the videos on the way in. If you can even share the video on the way in, but whatever you decide to do, make sure you like the video. That is free, and that would really deeply get us more ingrained into the YouTube algorithm, so we can start to make progress and see, or have our message of enlightenment seen more easily. So I'm still trying to find that scene right now for you. You'll have to bear with me. I apologize for that. It looks like we have every single other scene ready except for that scene, of course. What else can we do? Okay, it looks like we might have found it right here. It's called Revolution. All right, it's called Revolution. I'm going to rewind it, and hopefully we don't get copyright struck, but you kind of know how that goes. it can be a little difficult at times. Now, in the very beginning, he walks and stands upon this desk, but before we get to that part, I think I need to rewind it even further, or maybe I need to fast forward it. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at the clip myself. All right, looks like we had the correct spot there. Let's go ahead and watch this, shall we? Revolution is the name of this clip.
Going on in the North, in Harlem. They're changing the way Negroes in America think. I'm talking about poets like Hughes, Bennett, Zora Neale Hurston, Countee Cullen. Some are teethed on a silver spoon with the stars strung up for a rattle. I cut my teeth as a black raccoon.
Or implements of battle.
I said this in the last live stream. I cut my teeth. Now listen to this. Listen to how powerful this is, because I don't even want to. It's so powerful.
Some are teethed on a silver spoon with the stars strung up for a rattle. I cut my teeth as a black raccoon.
Or implements of battle.
Now, obviously, a coon is a derogatory term that's used to refer to black men or black males during the Jim Crow antebellum slavery South era of America, which lasted for a decent amount of time in relation to the amount of time that this nation's been operating, right? Now, the quote, though, I cut my teeth as a black raccoon for instruments of battle. It was used to kind of turn what was a very bad or a badgerish or a deviant creature or a deviant or derogatory remark into something that could be used to champion a war cry, or something that could be used to mimicry some type of element of a heroic nature of some sort. Once again, if we lose audio, if we lose volume, then you already know what time it is. We're going through the Matrix as well right now, okay? So it's getting real for us too. It's a powerful and it's a beautiful quote, and I wanted to bring that to you because I wanted you to understand how important education is and was for black men at one particular moment in time. Now, in regards to education, you already know that black men are the least educated. If you've been watching this live stream, you know that they're the least business building, the least everything, and we're first in everything we shouldn't be first in. We're last in everything we should be first in. This is an issue that happens in the black community, an issue that Pearly Things is not that versed with. If you're here to listen about Tory Lanez, we'll get to him in 1 second. And this is why we have to mention and point out the whiteness and why the blackness and why the education of both sides, and why points that are argued on both sides cannot be argued the way that they're being argued right now, because it is not the same thing. However, you will see in this live stream, if we can, by the grace of the YouTube and the gods that exist, get through this without any technological errors, be convinced that maybe if you are on the side of Pearly Things, you can start to be a little bit more enlightened and start to see things a bit more clearly, if you will. I understand if you don't, but understand this going forward. All of these are facts, whether you like them or not. These are facts. So you don't have to like them, just like you heard your godfather say, he might be on the thumbnail or not. I think I'd have to take him off. Facts don't care about your feelings. Now, how Kevin Samuels, speaking of the godfather, felt about facts and education is he thought that educated women think that they are better than blue collar men. And this is a narrative that he focused on very heavily, so much so to the point to where he had a PhD mockery button of a woman that had a doctorate's degree that called into the show, that was proud of her doctorate's degree, that went on to try and rebut a point that Kevin Samuels had in response to him trying to attack her doctor's degree, and he made a mockery of her, right, because she was proud of that doctor's degree. Now, what's happening here is a meshing, if you will, of so many attacks psychologically and subconsciously in this one stanza and sentence. And I broke this down. I'm going to break this down again. Educated women think that they are better than blue collar men. Well, who are educated women? If we're talking about educated women in this case, let's go ahead and look at the thumbnail. He doesn't say black women because that would be too brazen. That would be too much. That would be too snide. It would be too rude onto his already pretty much, and I guess you could say rude demeanor as he already comes across, right? But he puts nothing but black women in the thumbnail. And this is for a few different reasons, because black women are his primary audience, for one. Black women were most of the women that called in, and black men were most or the majority of his audience that built him to the level that he's at now. And black men have most of their complaints about, of course, their own people, just as they always have, just as we continue to do, just as we'll continue to do for probably millennia at this point in time now. But educated women was the term used to describe black women. So if they're educated, they're black. And that's why the I have a PhD button was constantly played to remind you that the black woman is educated and she has a PhD and she's proud of that. Need I not remind you that in that movie, The Great Debates, there's a scene where they're pulling up to a debate. The three kids that are in the debate car with Denzel Washington, they're collegiate kids. One of them's 14, by the way, if that doesn't say anything about where we are as black men today. pull up to a certain scene in a town and there's a hanging happening with a black man or a black boy that was hung or lynched, if you will, and they were looking at this and they were horrified, and they had to get out of there pretty expeditiously because they might have been next, and they were getting ready to head to a Harvard debate, or I'm sorry, a debate in the South, trying to get to the Harvard debate, but of well thought out white and black people, right? Which is a very interesting paradigm shift. On the way to getting ready to debate white people, they see a mob of white people that are hanging and lynching quite literally towards the end of the scene. While they're driving off, the body falls into the fire pit. It's pretty grotesque. It's pretty real. It's pretty serious. But I looked at that and I was like, man, education at one point was so important to our people that we died for it. Quite literally, hands, feet, legs and arms were chopped off so we had the ability to read and talk and strategize and build plays to possibly get ourselves out of slavery, or to possibly enlighten us, or to possibly understand these posters that are talking about the world around us, right? Education was our key not even 100 years ago, we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, where we didn't have access to education. So let that also be how quickly Negroes can divulge into absolute madness once you start giving them a little bit of resources, because you have to understand 100 years ago, niggas didn't have no money, okay? Niggas got a little bit of money now. Let me go ahead and back up to this. Educated women think they are better than the blue-collar men. Let's break down the second phrase. If the audio goes out, please let me know that the audio goes out. And forgive me if you can donate so we can get this taken care of. We need a new laptop. Anyways, women think they're better than blue-collar men. Who are blue-collar men? In this instance, blue-collar men would be black men. Why are they black men in this instance? Well, obviously, the subtle or the not-so-subtle thumbnail lets us know that we're speaking to black women, or at least about black women right now. And black women primarily date black men because every race primarily dates the people that are subjected around them in their community. If you're white, you probably date white people most of the time. If you're Asian, you probably date Asian most of the time, because that's what you're raised in. That's what's normal to you. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, right? Now, blue collar man has to refer to the equal or the partner or the counterpart to the women in the thumbnail. Blue collar men would be black men. Why are they blue collar? Blue collar men are the men that are doing the manual labor jobs. They're the guys that are doing the oil rig jobs. They're the guys that do the trash technician. I forget the name. The waste management systems. They're the guys that do the electrical job. They build all the houses that they're so eager to constantly remind civilization that they build, right? So the blue collar men represents, and it's not just black men. I don't want to make that conjecture or that point that it's only just black men that are blue collar men. No, I get all races of men are blue collar men. But in this instance, in this particular example, it's the blue collar men that are being referred to as black men, vice versa. You understand what I'm saying there. They're not as educated. Black men don't have the degrees. We're not enrolled as much. So the blue collar role is more fitting to us. Okay? In that quote. So what he's saying is black women in this sentence, quite literally, think that they are better than black men. Okay? Black educated women think that they are better than non-educated black men. That's literally what he's saying in this stanza. This is backed up by tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of video. You can scroll down, and education is furthermore antiquated with masculinity. If you just type in, we're still on the Kevin Samuels education women's search, you'll see key terms, masculinity popping up, men's beauty standards, everything starts popping up, and it has to do with the masculinity. So now on the same page, when you're looking for, or when you pop up, or when you see the educated women stanza, you're going to start to also be keyed or pinged on to the masculinity or the masculine side. Education now has been masculinized in the manosphere, and it's a way to try and use or manipulate and to try and bend the rules and to try and not just hide their shame, but to utilize what is an amazing thing and what is a great thing and what we honestly need more of in society, which are smart black people that are able to right understand how the world works, essentially. I'm not saying that college teaches you that, but depending on what you learn in college, it can definitely teach you that. We need more of that in the community. That's been weaponized and that's been demonized strategically through using women's either body count or the wall that's approaching soon or whatever it might be, because that's what you need in order to get to that educated level, right? Well, if you're going to go to school, and you've heard him say a million times, be careful for the student loans, and then you're going to have to watch out for, and by the time you graduate, you're going to be 27, and then there's going to be nothing left, and you're going to hit the wall. right? Then you're going to be this, right? Educated, happy, single, and don't need no man. So all of a sudden, educated now antiquates you to being single. You don't need a man. You're masculine, and then look at the woman in the thumbnail. It's going to be a woman that is taking on the more stereotypical or prototypical masculine or feminine, or as some Manosphere people say, the femme. I'm not going to say the Otzi word attached to it, right? It's not even anything that's that flagrant, but I want you to understand and look at what they're trying to purport as don't need a man. I don't need this. It's a woman in her natural hair wearing beads and a tank top. Nothing out of the ordinary. But look how they try and purport it. Educated, happy, single, I don't need no man. That's the look of single and don't need no man in nearly a million viewers' eyes, 702,000, right? So they're not outright pointing out race. They're not outright saying black is that and black, but black men, and in this case, Pearly Things, are very, very, very subtle with their hatred of themselves. Some cases they're not subtle, like in gangbangers cases. They're not too subtle about their hatred or the blocks that they come from being so proud that they're willing to kill each other over that, something that they don't even own, right? They're not too subtle about that. But in this case, they're very subtle, and this is the deviance of the Manosphere and black men. They're like little children almost, and they get their little Snickers from saying and doing little subtle things and always speaking about such irrelevant topics that have nothing to do whatsoever with the betterment of their life. But they focus years, hours, days, months, years, decades on end to the single topics that really have nothing to do, once again, with them. Let's move on. And while we're talking about Pearly Things being white in this case and trying to interject once again in 40 or 50 videos and let you know that she's the whitest girl on earth, the antithesis of everything that you've seen in those thumbnails before, because all you saw were black girls in the thumbnail before, but now the whitest girl on earth is going to react to the black man that's been putting nothing but black girl thumbnails into the picture. This is another subconscious or subtle slight, if you will, that Pearly Things, and it's not slight at all. Her calling herself the whitest girl on the earth lets you know, and lets every single black person that's watching that know, that she is everything that is, in a lot of black men's eyes, holy and righteous. You hear niggas talk about all the time. You hear athletes have all the time, or at least certain types of athletes like basketball. Don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of black marriages, but they're very proud, and they antiquate whiteness with success. This is why niggas get money and don't build shit in the hood. This is why niggas don't feel like they own anything in the hood. This is why niggas don't feel like they owe anything in the hood. This is why niggas feel like they have such a hard time. Now, I need you to understand the immense stupidity and the level of cognitive dissonance that niggas' minds go through. Let's watch a couple videos here. I'm talking and I'm ranting. The name of this video is what it's like to be a black man in corporate white America. This is the name of this video here, okay? You can already just get the violins if you're a cellist or a violinist or an organist or an orchestratist. Here we go.
Conversation, and I'm in the studio today with my...
Let's fast forward.
Is this idea that as an African-American male, we have to be able to exist, and not only exist, but to really thrive in two totally different cultures.
So I'll just cut to the chase. Niggas are having a hard time thriving in white culture, all right? Now, it's not even necessarily because of the way they talk or whatever it might be, but you have to understand that in black culture, there's two different sides of black culture. It's not like that in all white culture. No, most white people are just going to be a part of one white culture. You might have hicks, you might have rednecks and things of that nature, but most white people are just going to be, for the most part, white people, right? Well, in a black person, you might have a conservative type of black person. You might have you never really know what you might have, but I could tell you this much: you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of brothers that are more carrying themselves like this brother is here. You're not going to see that as much in the black community. This is why it's such an issue when black men do get into the white corporate scenes in white corporate America, because that transition for both cultures is hard to kind of get with, and it's hard and is not seen on the other side as well. So we got a black guy in the office. What's going on? Hey, how'd you get? Whoa, okay. Well, we got to try and learn how to work together. It's an oddity, all right? You don't see black guys wearing suits. This is why Kevin Samuels was able to get popular and get famous in the first place. He wasn't popular until he started putting on a suit, as a matter of fact, and rerouting his message to black women that Pearly Things decided to pick up. We'll talk about Tory Lanez in a couple of minutes here. I hope we just still have audio coming through. I looked at the screen and it looks like we do have audio coming through. We don't have any donators or super chatters or whatever it might be, so that tells me that you don't care if the podcast and the audio drops, which if it drops, that's fine. I guess we'll just stop. But know, I just want to thank everybody that's donated. I do appreciate you again. I know I'm pushing that, but there's a good reason. I'm passionate about this. I hope you're passionate about this. I hope you can tell I'm passionate about this. I put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of thought into these concepts to try and enrich you, to try and empower you as whoever you are, to go into the conversations that you have in your workplace, to go into these online panels, to go into various different topics or areas where they try and demean whatever you represent or whatever you believe or whatever you support based off of their incoherent and retarded logic. Forgive my use of the R word, Susan at YouTube. Let's go back to this. Black men have an issue acclimating to black corporate America. It's not just black men, it's black women as well. However, I will give you this. Black women are going to have an easier time going forward because of the marks and the strides that they're making to own businesses, to do this, to do that. This video is named The Secret Being Black in Corporate America. Let's see if we can get a couple little tidbits of information from it. See what it's like to be black in corporate America. It's a 5-minute video.
But sir, okay. I know what you're about to say, and I can assure you that this has nothing to do with what you might be thinking, okay?
So I guess he just has a boss. Listen, we've all had bad bosses. You're going to have to deal with that whether you're white, black on black. I had a black boss that was trash as well. But these issues, implicit biases, the last video, we're not going to play this here. The name of this is discussing the black experience in corporate America. Happens between black men and black women. I exited that video, but on the right-hand thumbnail of the video I just exited was actually a black woman kind of saying that what introducing one of her videos and the same thing as well. However, you'll notice the difference between black men and black women. They decided to educate themselves, something that Pearly Things and Kevin Samuels try to neg or try to demean or try to demonize or try to humiliate black women for constantly, because niggas don't have an education, because niggas aren't building as many businesses, because niggas didn't get a $10 billion grant from Goldman Sachs and the white people that they encourage Deion Sanders to run to. I need you to understand this. Black women have mobilized collectively, and I'm not saying they operate as a collective, but I'm saying that black women more collectively have built quicker and educated themselves quicker and outpaced black men. Now black men are getting left in the dust. Thus you have the creation of the manosphere or the black manosphere. You have the white side of the manosphere, and they don't necessarily entangle as much. Let's also go ahead and go to the Pearly Things stream and let the obvious be known. It was a record-setting number on the Pearly Things stream because black women were on the panel. It was not white women on the panel when Andrew Tate came and talked to all the feminists. It was Brittany Renner. She's going to be passed as black for the most part. I see another black woman on the couch, or I think she's half, maybe she's not. And then I see another black lady that's on the far left, I believe. I haven't watched the video. If there's a white woman, I apologize. But once again, when the numbers come in and it's time to set record numbers and paces, you use black women. Pearly Things understands this. This is why she names herself the whitest girl in the world. She knows it's going to be clicked by black men, and she knows it's going to be clicked by a lot of people. Who is this white girl that's talking about us as black women? Of course I'm going to click this video, because who is this white girl? Well, who is this white girl? I'm glad you asked. We have a little bit of background information about who is just Pearly Things Davis, white girl Pearl. She's a part of the 1%, as self-claimed. Her father is a part of the 1%. She's a social media influencer. She has a small background of college. She stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall. I think she's probably a little bit taller than that from what I've seen. At this moment of this article, it said she had 213,000 subscribers. Let that know how quickly she's grown. Let's see when this was written. This was written in July 31st, 2022. She was at 213,000 subscribers as of the writing of this article. Currently, she's at around 700, I believe, or she's nearing 1 million. It does go on to give us some more information about where she worked at before. It says she makes most of her money through Google and AdSense. Before we get to the information about where she worked at, it did rumor that she had a girlfriend. This had information about her boyfriend as well. It said that there's not much dating history about the previous relationship. We covered that here, and we saw that he was a social media influencer. So it looks like they're somewhat truthful about that. I can't find the original article that I actually found explaining where she had a boyfriend. It was so much broken down, but it's probably better I don't get into all that anyways, because I was like, yo, who wrote this article? I don't know who knows this much about her. It was a lot. Anyways, they said that she's rumored to have a girlfriend as well. That's kind of crazy. But what I wanted to read was where she used to work at before. Check this out. From December September 2017 to December, she worked as an intern at Senator Tom Cullerton's district office and served as the human resources intern at Davis Ware Inc. Davis Ware Inc. Pearl Davis. Davis Ware Inc. Do you understand how much money this woman comes from? She worked at the HR at Davis Ware Inc. If I'm putting 1 + 1 together, it's probably her father's company. She comes from a lot of money, okay? So just let that be known. She speaks about black issues. She speaks about communities and growing up in an environment where you literally can't go into your house at certain times of the day because it's so violent, so whimsically, so lackadaisically that it's remarkable almost. But niggas eat that shit up because niggas love anything that has to do with making themselves antebellum coons. That's just facts of the matter. That's why niggas will continue to be dead last. They'll listen to this message that I'm speaking now and act as if everything that I've said before in this past 20 minutes has been straight lies. They will act as if everything that I've said for these past 20 or 30 minutes, however long we have until everything starts shutting off again, it's just been straight lies. I kid you not. They'll hear this and it's been straight lies. I'm reading nothing but facts and interpreting it as it's told. She comes from a ton of money. She has no idea what it's like to grow up for 99.9% of black people in America. 2% of the wealth is owned by black people in America. Let me get you to understand that. And Pearl is a part of the 1% of people. I don't know if you can understand this, okay? Pearl's a part of the 1% of the people that own 50% of the wealth in America. Okay? That's where Pearl comes from. All right? So understand when somebody's speaking from a certain perspective, really it's just regurgitated information. That's all Pearly Things says. We're going to get into Tory Lanez in 1 second and understand why I brought Tory Lanez into that conversation. It is important. We're going to get into him in a little bit. Let's go on to her career. Furthermore, she worked as a digital marketing intern at Proceed Innovated LLC and served at the intern at Zumba Group. In July 2015, blah, blah, blah. She done some other stuff, yada, yada, yada. She went to school for business. Make no mistake about it. She got a degree, if I'm not mistaken, in digital sales and marketing. She literally has, or she worked as the director, of business development and sales and digital marketing. All right. Understand that what Pearly Things did by emulating Kevin Samuels, by regurgitating the same information that's being said for the past decade now, nothing new, is business operated at the most fluid and high level as far as YouTube content creation goes. You see a million different channels with her clips. They're all over the social media sites until they get taken down, of course, and they're raking in millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is why education is important to black women. That same education that Pearl's gonna sit and shit on black women for is what is enabling her to make millions of dollars off of you uneducated, stupid ass niggas. Do you understand how stupid niggas are, though? Niggas are so stupid that they will sit and listen to me talk about Pearl's education and claim that I have something against niggas. Can you understand? Do you understand that? That's how stupid niggas are. By the millions they flock to this message, primarily niggas flock to this message and will regurgitate and sit online telling black women how their education is so horrible. Meanwhile, listening to a woman that went to college and worked at jobs specifically to do exactly what she's doing now in digital sales and marketing at YouTube. The mind numb is just, it's like, wow. Niggas take it to new levels. I'm amazed. This is what it looks like to get played. This is why niggas are able to be enslaved. This is the mindset that you might have heard in certain movies that kind of, ooh, I didn't like the way he said that. I don't like the way that white man said that to that slave when he said that like that. Well, it's just something about y'all's, what we watching in the movie today, y'all's kind does this really well. I don't know what I heard. I was like, wow. Woo! Woo! My goodness. Woo! Yes. So understand that regurgitating the same information that but this is how the communities get the one up. This is why black people will always be always be at the very bottom, because black men will constantly be at the bottom. They'll never understand this. I'm speaking Egyptian right now to them. Okay, so what if Pearl went to school? She be telling the women's about the she be telling my women's about their lies, and she be helping them, just like Kevin Samuel be helping them. You just be hating. All right. All right. You can think that. I'm gonna let you think that. Let's talk about Tory Lanez for a second as we segue. Hey, I know I mention it all the time. I know if you're already watching this live stream, you already know what time it is. But I'm so serious, y'all, when I say this. You need to listen right now. I said this in the last live stream, and this is important. Listen, my girl got me this soap bar for Christmas. It's amazing. It's cute. It's got a little puffball descender hat that the scruffy man is wearing, the burly man is wearing on the front of it, and the flavor was amazing. It still smells pretty good. It's eucalyptus mint scented soap, and the first couple of ingredients look great, so she just scooped it up. Sodium palmate, sodium something else I'm not going to even try and say right now. Casa dos Aromas. It even said it's from Portugal on the back of it. Like, how can a soap from Portugal be bad, right? I opened it and I was excited to try it today, and let me tell you, it felt like I was washing myself in oil and chemicals. So I didn't want to tell her I didn't like the soap bar, because I was kind of, not really, anticipating a soap bar anyway, since we sell the most amazing soap on the market. But it's good to see what the competition likes. So she's really in the best train of thought, of course. She's brilliant. And we found out quite quickly that there's no comparison to what we're offering right now, y'all. This bar was $10 on clearance. It was horrible, but there's a component in the back of it named BHT. This BHT is what stood out because it's in capital letters on the back of the package. It's in capital BHT. So we were like, okay, let's look up BHT. It stands for this: butylated hydroxylithium whatever. It's a lab-made chemical that's added to food as a preservative. People also use it as medicine. BHT is also used to treat genital, and then that's where we ended up right there on the BHT informational, thanks to WebMD.com and Google. It's not probably something that I would encourage you to lather in daily. If you decide to shower in chemicals, and if you decide to, as we hear so many articles of different medical diagnoses and things happening on a day-to-day basis, thanks to we don't know what's going on right now in the age of people living getting short. If you decide to keep on lathering or bathing yourself on the lies of cleanliness and chemicals, then that's up to you. But if you do decide to enlighten yourself, and if you do decide to try something new, you can invigorate your lifestyle. You can invigorate your mornings, evenings, and afternoons with the new Coffee Time Serum Bar. It is absolutely fantabulous. You scroll to the site, click Quick View. It'll take you over to the Quick View side, and then from then you can click Select Add to your cart, your quantity. That is it. 100% natural. You have never seen anything like it. I guarantee you are going to love it. We also have on the shop page our body wash. Check it out. Unicorns and Dragons. I'm the honest truth. I wouldn't lie to you. Head over to the shop page, check out the coffee bar, sign up for the Bub Club for 20%, 15% off, or purchase the Unicorns and Dragon package. You will truly see what you're missing. Serum.serum.com. Email me at thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com for all business opportunities. We're here to talk numbers, and we're here to talk digits. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. I'm here to help both sides acquire the sixth sense. Nah, it was kind of cheesy. I'm going to roll out on that one. Why am I talking about Tory Lanez? Do we still have audio? Wow. We are lit right now. We got audio and everything. Let's go. Hey, let's do it. All right. Tory Lanez. So, Paris Milan had a live stream recently. And this live stream was pretty popular. The name of the live stream was Tory Supporters Call In. And it was streamed 19 hours ago. I did watch it. And I think we're going to listen to a couple seconds of it. Be aware, it might be a bit triggering.
No, Tory Leprechaun Lanez has been convicted. So he
might be a bit triggering, but I need y'all to hear something. And why I'm bringing Tory Lanez into this conversation is very important. Let's listen to this call here.
I don't want it to come off as in, well, because she wasn't honest, she deserves to be, shot or shot at. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I do feel that as Black women, when we have our protect Black women, in my mind, just like when we say that all skin folk and kinfolk, I feel the same way when it comes to with Black women. And the fact that Megan had not been honest with us, whether you like Tory or not, because I don't necessarily care for Tory because he had that whole colorist shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse? I didn't mean to curse.
Yeah.
Now, I need you to stop and listen to that, all right? Tory Lanez has had colorist remarks. Tory Lanez has come out and said crazy things. Tory Lanez has had past domestic violence issues. Tory Lanez has done so many things. And still you see Black women call in, and this is a Black woman of law enforcement. You've seen all different, I don't know how many calls there were. I think there were like 3 or 4. I didn't watch the entire thing. Call in to defend Tory Lanez, okay? So this is crucial. This is very important. Irrespective of what is happening or said online, in the real world, Black men have tons of support from Black women, especially right now. They can act like victims. They can claim that the world is out to get them, that the white man is evil, and that this and this and that. At the end of the day, even if all of that was true, you still see, after all of the damage, after the Kevin Samuels, after whatever it might be, Black women saying, no, hey, we still need to be fair about things. We still need to do this. We still need to do that. And I don't understand it. Paris didn't understand it. It's wild to me. He's obviously guilty in my opinion, but if by somehow he's important enough that they wanted to lock this dude up like the CIA and then lock him away in prison because he didn't want to sign a $10 million or $50 or $100 million Rock Million Nation contract, I guess that just is what it is. In my opinion, they probably could have just, people are thinking that, and just his dad was thinking that, oh, well, Rock Nation locked him up because he didn't want to sign the contract or because he was talking bad about Megan or because he was doing this, doing that. Listen, you think they would lock him up in jail for 20 years or something like that? They wouldn't lock him up in jail. They would let him sign to another label, and then they would just backdoor with that label, have conversations, and take a percentage of the money and take it for themselves. That's what they would do. So the tinfoil hat conspiracy thing, sometimes there's a need for it. There's no need for this right now. Now, who shot, when shot, Kelsey, the friend, I don't know, all that. I'm just saying, listen, it's pretty clear and evident based off of what the security guard said from what I saw in the video and this and that. I know it's alleged Susan at YouTube, what happened. And that's what happened with Tory Lanez and why he got found guilty. He's done some stuff in the past. I don't know. You can spin the story a million different ways if you want. That's not even the point of the concept. The point of the concept is even after he was found guilty, there were still a lot of Black women that were championing him and a lot of people that were championing him to get out. Of course, there were tons of Black dudes that were championing him. And while there were tons of Black dudes that were championing him, these same Black dudes are making videos trying to call out Black women. What is it? In what way does it make sense? But once again, the online narrative is crucially important. And this is why the Matrix is coming for Andrew Tate. And this is why the Matrix is coming for you as well, Pearly Things, because the narrative that you speak is vitally important, and to especially weak-minded men such as a lot of the Black men that are raised in modern day America. Or not raised, but they grow in modern day America because there's nobody to raise them, essentially, except for the mother, which she does her very best. But we've seen stories all the time. And listen, I'm not saying all mothers are good, but we see stories where the mothers are good. The kids are bad. Sometimes the mother's bad. The kids are bad. Sometimes the mother's bad. The kids are good. Hey, it is what it is. But if we're going to try and just hold the Manosphere according to what they deem, right? The single mothers are ruining everything because they're not able to raise the children according to how they should be raised, right? So that's what they say. That's how they feel. Having said that, at the end of the day, I want you to see just how far they're willing to go to champion Black men, even with all the anti-Black women rhetoric that's online, even with all the humiliation that happens in certain levels of education or certain levels of financial attainment that Black men try and live vicariously as a white man through their money with, even with everything happening, even after having the shame of going through slavery and being hung from trees and this and that, even after going through a situation where we know pretty much that he shot this girl in the car because I don't know why he decided to shoot this girl in the car. He's probably chilling. He's probably tripping. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. He's just stupid as hell. right? Even after all that, they're still saying, no, we're not quite. I don't know. I think that's remarkable, man. I think that's remarkable. Not just one, but a decent amount. You can look at comment sections. You can look at different YouTubers who have a lot of people that are supporting Tory Lanez. So why would you want to piss off the people that are still supporting you, essentially? How are you going to try and destroy an image of the women that right? What? Well, it's because online rhetoric. That need for bloodshed, it's kept up. Reddit knows this, and I found an article on Reddit that said this, as a matter of fact. Check this out. Can we snark on just Pearly Things here? Is what this article says. This is 2 months ago. This is posted. And somebody said, I never searched for her channel. She's more than 547,000 subscribers as of this time. That was 2 months ago. She had 547,000 subscribers. That's scary. I won't watch her stuff, of course, because whenever you watch a video, the creator gets paid, plus makes the video more popular. I suspect that many such a creator, if one is even willing to call them that because they are not very original, are doing it for the money. The whole women versus men topic is easy to monetize at the moment, but maybe she is really so deluded that she believes it all. She also said this. Somebody commented and said she only has subs because her daddy, who was in the top 0.5%, according to her, that's crazy, bought them all for her. Damn. We're talking poor people talk. We're saying 1%. The really rich people are saying the 0.5%. Shit. I'd never heard of her until a few days ago. She started popping up on YouTube Shorts spewing BS. She gets most of her views and titles and the views from her titles in the Manosphere. Mostly black Manosphere guys watched FD signifiers videos on that. If you look at her comments, it mostly reflects this, but I do think a lot of her followers are fake/inactive. She brags about her dad's income. Somebody said he only makes $300,000 a year. I don't even know that's possible. That's not what I heard. But there's another comment that I saw here. And this comment, well, she just got banned on Instagram. It says, this isn't the comment I was looking for, but just moments ago, so there'll be less of her floating through the atmosphere. She's honestly the worst. I can't with pick-me's and women who fetishize black men. It's giving. And this is a big element of Pearly Things. Black men don't have anybody that's really of another race that's like championing and saying, oh, black men are so awesome. You know what I mean? Like, niggas don't have anybody of another race saying black men are awesome other than black women, and still niggas shit on black women. Black women out here marching in the street for Black Lives Matter, niggas shit on black women. There's no women out here be championing for black men. Pearly Things essentially is like the first to kind of do that, and that's why she's so popular. She's not just the white girl. Once again, remind yourself, she's the whitest girl in the world. She's the whitest girl in the world that's the proponent for black men. So black men are like, oh my God, we don't just have a white girl. We got the whitest girl in the world. And I mean, she does look like one of the whitest girls in the world. She's very white. There's nothing wrong with being very white, but I think that even her appearance, maybe she personally dulls herself or doesn't tan or whatever it might be. I think that she's even down that psychologically pinged it to the game of like, okay, I'm going to make myself as white as possible as I can type of deal. Because she knows that black men are going to gravitate towards that. You know what I mean? Now, Reddit can tell, everybody can tell what the deal is. It's straight up pandering. But what's remarkable is this, though. It's the constant cognitive dissonance that the men show that are part of the Manosphere. Simping in this case. Worshipping a woman in this case. Following a woman in this case. Guys share Pearly Things videos more than they share any other Manosphere content creators videos. Guys comment. Now, once again, this has to do with the education that Pearly Things has, the education that black women use and out-educate men with, right? That has to do with that education. But in this case, black men pick and choose whose women can be educated or not. No, it's okay for white women to be educated, but we don't want black women to be educated. Who does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you? We don't want black women to be educated, but we want Pearly Things to be educated. It's okay for Pearl to be educated, but not for black women to be educated. Huh? Excuse me, KKK? Is that KKK at the door? No, it's just Octavius. It's hard to tell the difference, though, when they're wearing their hood at night. You don't know if it's a hoodie or if it's a hood. Most niggas is pretty much the same thing in 2023. Make sure you can support the channel if you're enjoying this message. The more you support, the more we're able to go live, the quicker we're able to fix things, so we can have more professional broadcasts for you. Moving up big in the world, GuyGotSayer.com. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video. I know we're back and forth on a lot of this, but it looks like we're going to be able to get through this entire video tonight, so I'm trying to get everything humanly possible out into the stratosphere. I'm really sad, and I just saw how like bright the screen is actually while I'm talking, and that's really not good at all. It's like extremely bright. Fucking hell. It's so bright. So let's turn that down. You know, I mean, I'm pretty much like I was like Michael Jackson level right there. Anyways, we'll have to figure that out later. Jesus, it was like, that's crazy how bright it was. What the fuck? Why does it look like that? I think it's the white balance. Oh my god, it looks so bad. I'm looking at it now on the screen. It looks like a zombie. Like all the color washes away. Fuck. There's always something. Always something. That's what happens when you're running on a lower quality camera right there, though. You know. What can you do? There's something else to watch out for in the next live stream. I'm not tripping about that. I'm too much of a perfectionist, I think. I complain too much. Ignore me. Okay. Let's continue on with this here, shall we? Let me sit up. Adjust myself. Stretch. I got my drink beside me. I'm going to get to my notes. I guarantee you Pearl's watching this right now. So, Pearl, listen up. All right. I might say something that could help you a little bit. The Matrix is after you. I'm not going to help you too much. Oh, I was supposed to be reading. I was going to read y'all's comments, but, you know, I don't know how many of y'all are in there right now, so I forgot to do that. My apologies. I'm just looking for... I guess in the meantime, I'm going to play a video while I'm looking. You know, let's just watch this video. I guess it's time for a good old Negro hymnal struggle. Negro struggle hymnal. It's time for a good old struggle hymnal. I need that dang stream deck.
Yo, the struggle with being
sounds
a black man
well, I can't hear anything.
in America, in corporate America, and being blatantly disrespected to your face.
Damn.
And not being able to respond in the way that helped you survive in the streets that you came up in.
Facts.
I just went through some crazy shit at work, coworkers talking reckless, and my first instinct was to slap the shit out of them, which I don't want to lose my job. I got bills. But luckily I'm able to survive in both realms. So I eloquently crafted an email to HR supervisors.
I'm not gonna say eloquently.
But just that frustration, like my like, I don't understand why the fuck we always gotta go, like, I don't know, man.
You know why? I could tell you why, but I don't know if you want the answer. You know why it's always so effed up for you as a black man in corporate America? There's not a lot of black men in corporate America. It's pretty... I don't know if that was the answer that you were looking for. That's why it's a little tough for you in corporate America. It's funny how that works, huh? The very slight that you use against black women, when the time comes and the ability comes to legally make, you know, that money at a certain level, all of a sudden it becomes nice to see sister in the office. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth. I think he's telling the truth. It's pretty clear about it. We can see that he's telling the truth. You can tell that he's frustrated. But they're not getting to the answer nonetheless. Let me get to my notes here. I do have them. Now, he mentioned that, well, let me see where I'm gonna take off in these notes. Let's see. You know, I might have to just use these notes for another live stream when I look at them, to try and tie them in with the direction that I have going now. It's probably not going to work as much. It's crazy. I try and use notes, and then I end up just not looking at any of them, which is wild. Cerebral is live right now. Let's see here. I'm looking at we're almost at an hour. Jeez. Okay. I'm seeing that Italy decided to block the Tory Lanez video thanks to the great debaters. I'm looking at I'm literally just checking my email right now, not doing anything related to the stream. I'm looking at firearms, and they have some good prices. They do have some good prices. If you haven't already, consider the Second Amendment rights that you do have if you're legally able to carry. We're going into more trepidatious times, and I think it's going to be more interesting, so make sure that you get you something to carry. Let me turn this down a little bit. We talked about Torey. We talked about White Girl Pearl, always using her whiteness, and why it's important that we differentiate and delineate that there's nothing wrong with being white. We don't hate white people. I love white people. I was raised with white people. White people were very nice to me. White people were always kind to me. White people donate to this channel all the time, actually. And so they know, honestly, where we stand. And as you know where we stand, there's not a problem that we have with that. I think that, quite fair and honestly, a lot of people of other races respect the message that we say here because it's one of accountability, true accountability, as far as trying to change what is the pop culture of degeneracy within a lot of hearts and minds of black guys. And now here we are with the gender war conversation, formulating another type of war, civil war, arguably the worst type of war amongst their own people in order to what? Control a little bit of semblance of power, to try and feel. We're going to get into that a little bit more next time on the next live. It's going to be pretty deep, and it has more about talking about the psychological aspects of certain types of power and yada, yada, yada. But it's going to be interesting. Not anything too, mumbo jumbo. I'm not going to, go Harvard with it. But it is fascinating, and I think you're going to want to definitely hear that. We got more winners coming episodes. There's been a lot more happenings that have been happening, and it's not just the pop culture thing, but even in the Manosphere, more happenings that have been happening. Just a lot more to talk about. We're getting ready to head into a new year. That means that there's going to be new challenges. That means that there's going to be new struggles, but there's also going to be new opportunities, new rewards, and new experiences. That's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I decide to fill my cup halfway full with, or to the top, whatever it might be. However you interpret, however much you're able to fill your cup up with, just make sure that you're choosing to prioritize, health, wealth, and ingredients over alcohol, soda, candy, carbs, even though I do love the latter, and I'm getting ready to eat a lot of candy right now. Once again, email me, thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. I hope that you did enjoy this. I apologize for the people that weren't able to make it to this live stream because you got tired of me having to deal with the tech issues. One day, we shall overcome, as my great brethren do recall hearing in a good movie, right? In a good movie. We shall overcome the white man one day. I know. Don't forget TikTok. Go do something new tomorrow. What's today? Today is Wednesday. That means tomorrow's Thursday. If you're in college, it's college night at the bars. It's a good time, good memories. Half of them I can't remember. Half of them I can. Once again, the glass is, though, half full. I'm Truth, Jonathan Wilson. I love you very much. If you're lonely and you're going through things, reach out to me. I'm always here, trying to figure out how to make my live stream just a little bit better.